Alright, Prismatic Titan time. Let's talk about a quick video. Let's talk about a quick build to take you into Legend solo campaign of the final shape and how you can take it from the beginning all the way to the end. Let's get right into it. Alright, we're going to walk you through the Titan build that we have. This is going to be built around getting a lot of melees and getting all of your abilities up, as we talked about in the Hunter and Warlock builds. The difference in this one is we're not going to focus as much on freezing, but just on raw outputting of punching and punching and punching. Because of this, we're going to be focusing on using a lot of the initial abilities that you have. First off, with Blade Fury, everyone knows what the Strand Titan Super is. It's still really strong here, so we're going to keep this on. If for some reason you would prefer to have something burst, Thunder Crash is always a good choice. However, I just don't think the overall kit is as good if you use Thunder Crash. If you use Thunder Crash, you will have to use a different exotic. So if you don't mind hot swapping, you can do that. Put on Curious for your super. But overall, this is just going to be just a staple set and forget to get through at least the first couple missions of the legendary solo campaign. For our abilities, we're going to use Thruster. Thruster is really quick, unless you get out of sticky situations really quickly. Has a very low cooldown, so you can have it up more often. We're going to have our jump. I prefer Catapult. You can use whatever you want. Then we're going to take Thunderclap, which when you hold it down, it's going to send out the big Thunderclap like you've always seen and destroy a lot of targets in front of you. And then we're going to take a Aerial of Denial ability, which is Glacier Nade. If you pair this with Thunderclap, you can shatter all of the ice crystals of the Glacier Nade, which is also really fun. So for this, we're going to be going with that. Our two aspects are going to be, first off, Knockout. This is really crucial. Paired with Thunderclap, critically wounding a target or breaking their shields, infuses your melee attacks with arc energy, and increases your melee range and damage for a short time. And of course, defeating targets with melee attacks makes you amplified and restores a portion of your health. You get more, of course, when you defeat more powerful combatants. These two things are really good because you get a melee hit with Thunderclap, you get the damage buff, you become amplified, and then you also do all of the other melee things. Every time you get a melee hit, you're going to make a Diamond Lance, which is really nice because then you can pick it up and then freeze or shatter more targets, which makes you even more powerful to just control the field. All these are things you get at the start, so we're going to just keep going with that until you get some of the better stuff later on. Titan is the one that has a little bit more of a tough situation out the gate having a build, but if you take the right exotics and the right playstyle with it, with the appropriate fragments, you can also build a pretty solid Titan. For our Transcendence, we're going to be taking Facet of Blessing, where melee final blows start health regeneration, and while you're Transcendent, melee final blows start health regeneration for you and your allies. We're mainly taking this for the personal healing. We're going to be taking Facet of Hope. While you have an elemental buff, your class ability recharges more quickly. We're going to always have an elemental buff because of all of this stuff we have going on, so this is just going to make our thruster up more often. Then we're going to be taking Facet of Ruin. We're increasing the size and damage of your burst. And then we're going to take Facet of Ruin. Increases the size and damage of the burst when you shatter a stasis crystal or frozen target. This is really nice because whenever we use our Diamond Lances, this effect of shattering is going to be even larger. Then we're going to take Radiant. Then we're going to take Facet of Dawn, where powered melee hits against targets make you radiant. Powered melee final blows make you and nearby allies also radiant. This is going to make all of our Thunderclaps to make us radiant, which is really good. Just to have a nice damage buff and another elemental buff up. And then Facet of Purpose. We're picking up an Overpower, grants you Amplified, Restoration, Frost Armor, Woven Mail, or Overshields. This is really good because while we have Woven Mail from Blade Fury, you can make as many orbs as you want, and just another way of just having more damage resistance. For our exotic, we're going to be taking Point Contact Cannon Brace, which has the perk Hammer of the Gods. Gain melee energy and create lightning strikes with Thunderclaps. As you can see, we're focusing pretty heavily on our melee, so we have as many melees as possible, as up as possible as well. You can change this into other mods that will allow you to have even more supers, more transcendent. Our exotic heavy is going to be Deathbringer. Deathbringer is really nice because it can do some crowd control on a lot of enemies from a far distance, so you can safely clear them out. It's really good against a lot of adds, including bosses. You can use this, toss it in the air, let it just, rain down Deathbringer void orbs at targets. And while you're in the, middle of fighting, you can toss a glacier nade, pop a thunderclap, and just shred everything really quickly. The gloves are going to be taking heavy-handed, where our powered melees are going to create an overpower, and then impact induction, where causing damage with a power melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. This is really nice because we're always going to be having a power melee, so when we do that power melee, we're going to make it overpower, and we're going to get a chunk of our grenade back as well. Chest piece, we're going to just take some resistances based off of what activity or enemies you're fighting. And as you always know, we're going to be taking recuperation on our boots, orbs of restoration on our boots, and absolution on our boots. This makes it to where when you pick up an overpower, you get a chunk of your health back from recuperation, and then from orbs of restoration, you get a chunk of ability energy back from your least amount that you have. Then absolution, which is going to give a chunk of your abilities back from every overpower as well. On our class item, you probably already know what we're going to be running. We're going to be running Reaper. Every time you use your thrusters, your next weapon kill is going to make it overpower. And then whenever you use your thrusters, you're going to get a chunk of your grenade back from double bomber. As you can see, we're dipping really heavily into our melee. We're dipping really heavily into our grenade. That way we can pretty much always have 1 or 2 up. And as you can tell, we have something for light and something for dark. So we're going to have even more transcendence. The biggest thing always is to dip as heavily into transcendence as often as possible. So we want to always mix and match our dark subclass stuff and our light subclass stuff. Overall, Titan might be possibly the weakest out the gate, but in my opinion, once you build it right, it is equally as strong, if not stronger, once you dive into the appropriate tools and the appropriate, loadout and exotics. The really fun thing is as you go through the campaign and start earning some of the more fragments, the aspects, the more supers you get, Titan then starts really shining, and then you can let off some of the exotics that you probably need to use on the front end and start using some fun ones on the back end. Titan's gonna be even stronger once we get the exotic class items, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to wait to make like the full builds of these. So personally, we're gonna make a build later on diving into a fully kitted out Titan that I already have a plan to just show you, that I hope in context is going to be really good, but in gameplay hopefully it's as good. But for now, I use this entire thing for the entire playthrough. The only thing I did swap out later on for some of the more high tier bosses is instead of using Deathbringer, I just put on Xenophage. It was just a little bit quicker, but I think if you want to keep on Deathbringer, it's just as fun, especially for just more subclass verbs being added to your build. Overall, I think the build is going to be really fantastic. Just starting off, I know this is probably the one that people have been wanting the most because it seems Titan might be the most difficult to build into. Just punch everything. That's the Titan way. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. And I think tomorrow is raid day, so I'll see you very soon for our raid loadout video.